have you ever more recently had a situation where you opened a door for someone or did something you were well-intentioned doing and maybe it was interpreted or felt the wrong way?
I started doing it early on and I was trained to do it, so I'm sort of programmed to do it, but as you get older, it occasionally slips through the cracks. Honey, will you lift this suitcase? It's like 100 pounds. Like, I'm supposed to hurt my back.
So you're actually saying it erodes with time.
But I've never had a bad interaction opening the door for someone, male or female. I've never done something that I think is kind for either sex and had someone say, oh, you know, what are you doing? But it is interesting because when I had all my issues with my neck, I felt bad because when I was on an airplane, I couldn't put even things in the overhead bin. But even less than the sexism is, I'm tall. Mm-hmm. So my head is right where the bins are. So it doesn't take much for me to put something up there. So if someone's short and they would look at me, can you help me out? No! People got mad.
You had to frankly just say, I'm like...
Obviously, I can't. I have a neck injury, you know, and then they could see the wound. But no, I'm not helping you with your bag.
How did that work?
I'm not helping you.
I do think it's fascinating, but the one comment I will make as a man is that I don't know the reaction to anything that I do. There are certain things that I do that I would like to think are chivalrous, and what I mean by that is just for anyone. If I'm the first to go through a door, I'm gonna leave it open. I don't care who's coming behind me. I'm not going to let a door slam in someone's face, period.
Well, hey, he
even opens doors for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's sort of a universal
But it does, I will say that it would be hard for me if I were doing that, because I do that for everyone. And if someone yelled at me for doing that, I don't know how I would react, because it would force me to rethink the way I operate, which is I try to be nice, and I like, maybe that's more chivalry. I don't even know the term, but the chauvinistic element that is true sexism, I don't know if this study looked at that, but I would like to think that that wasn't viewed as sexy. Because I've seen a lot of that in my day too, and I'm put off by it. But I have seen these guys, if you will, who are quite frankly, and they have a lot of female suitors, and you're like, wow, he's not that
like,
sweet.
How does that fly?
And so that maybe
same protective, that there's some.
Well, there may be some evolutionary aspect about that being an alpha male, and maybe he's in charge of the pack and can also provide for you. But I will say, getting back to your point, I think as a parent right now, I'm trying to raise my kids, both my daughter and my son, and I think it's one of the hardest things because our society has gotten so rude and so selfish to really instill in them, look, be considerate, be polite. Whoever's behind you, hold the door open for them. Have manners. And I feel like this was really interesting to me, because even though, yes, I believe men and women are equal, it is nice to be treated courteously. I do find that attractive, both in men and women, anybody who's considerate and kind. And that's what I want to teach my kids.
Yeah, we all as a society have to be careful. I think applaud one another when we do nice things for each other, and when we don't do nice things, we certainly shouldn't applaud that. And I think those are the scenarios that have happened probably far too often in life, where someone, and we'll use men as the example, they do something that's chauvinistic and off-putting, and as men are wont to do at times, you know, there's still a lot of that. But it's not, let me say one thing. It's not the alpha males. Alpha males don't behave that way. I can tell you unequivocally, men who are the true chauvinists, they lack confidence a lot of times, and that's their way of
making up
they're
for
pretending to be an alpha male. That's what's been my experience. The men out there who are more chauvinistic and they're not necessarily doing nice things, but they're doing things to make sure that let it be known that I'm stronger, bigger,
covering up for something else.
Yeah.
So let's all be courteous to one another.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And appreciate the niceties. As I always say, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.